Hello everyone, welcome back to the Osu Catch World Cup quarterfinals. We have another losers bracket match between the Russian Federation and Japan. My name is Quijibo and I am being joined today by Sakurai. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great today, right? Fresh in the morning, right? Fresh at night for you. Two opposite sides of
morning
the
now,
world
actually.
over here. We got a good match today. Russia versus Japan. This one, I think, is going to be pretty close, honestly. These two teams being really close in seeding. I believe Russia is seeded 12th and Japan is seeded 16th. Correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, but sounds
familiar. They are pretty close, and this one, I think, could go all the way to tiebreaker if we get a really lucky match.
Yeah, there is that possibility. I think Russia might be a little bit favoured as they seem like they do have that little bit stronger of a roster. Kitsunaibi, Vafra, Liquid Boba, Team Yida, Coastal Game and Dark Rainbow for Russia with Molkus, Isuke, 0530, Yukinya, Rindo, Snowwind and Hiroshiki for Japan. And both sides definitely have their strong players. But I think Russia might be a little bit favoured in this one, and this will be a big match. So the winner of this will go on to face the winner of Australia versus United Kingdom. Yeah,
this pool is a bit harder than last round. It's going to be a slightly bit easier than the qualifiers. So we should see a bit more of an even match between the two teams, I think. I think Russia is stronger as the map pool gets harder. But Japan definitely has the consistency to be able to keep up with them on an easier map pool like this one.
Yeah, that is fair. I think, personally, I'd say this week's map pool has a few picks that I'd rather play than last week's map pool, particularly in the Hard Rock pool as well. Looking at Hard Rock 3 a little bit, but yeah, I think all around it's a pretty good map pool this week. There is like the odd 1 or 2 coin flip maps, but for the most part, very solid map pool.
Yeah, we are actually going to be seeing the first ban from Japan is going to be Nomad 2, getting out that technical Rakuma Nomad map. One of the trickier ones along with Nomad 3. And we're going to be waiting for Russia's ban. I assume possibly could be... Honestly, I don't know with this one. Could be Nomad 4 would be a decent ban, I think, but honestly,
yeah, I'm thinking maybe even Hidden as well, because Japan are pretty decent with Hidden.
Yeah,
maybe Russia, yeah, I was thinking that, because Russia also has decent Hidden players, but maybe they just will ban what they're not comfortable on, or I don't know, maybe they could ban something that could potentially flip either way, like Mix Mod 1, for example, the easier Mix Mod of the pool, you know. Having that 1-1-1. Yeah, that is true. They might not be a fan of that, no mod. Quite a quirky pick, and built more towards people who can sort of read and move with that lower AR.
Can be hidden too, the lower AR hidden pick. It's surprising coming from Russia, considering Kitsune I think is one of the better hidden players in this tournament. But maybe they just don't have the second and third player to be able to play that as well.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I feel like in terms of like maybe second, third players, Japan might have a slight advantage there. I know I did see Team Yida play a little bit of it earlier on throughout the tournament, and I know Coastal Game can play Hidden as well, but maybe they're just not that confident, particularly with AR 8.2 Hidden, and Molkus not happy about that ban.
Yeah, definitely not. We are going to be getting into Russia's first pick. I kind of want to see DT. I don't know about you. I think DT would be a nice way to start this match off for Russia.
Yeah,
when
maybe.
You think of Russia, I always think of a team that's good at DT, but that's also just because their previous players from previous years have usually been DT
Insomnia,
players.
Memory Hola.
So, not sure if they're going to keep going with the good old Russian DT, but we should see. It's going to be Mix Mod 2, actually. This one is a funky map, to say the least. This one's definitely going to be very pressured on the mod players in particular, Hidden and Hard Rock, both being really tough on this map. Hard Rock having a few memory jumps hidden just when we are hidden. It's not the best of times.
Even with Nomon too, it's just very easy to walk off the notes because it may be AR 8.8, but it really doesn't feel like it. It feels so much slower.
It really does, and that's partially due to the lower BPM at 120 right there.
Yeah.
These are probably going to be the teams, both teams, seeing a bit of a swapping of the players just so they get into certain spots.
Yeah, perhaps they are saving Hard Rock 1, the Russian buff map, the Russian mapper buff for later. But yeah, I think if you're picking this, you're probably going to be somewhat confident that you'll take the point, as it is, quite punishing of a map to any mistakes. Like, we did see like a few lower scores in some of the matches, and players getting like 200-300 combo being enough to just take the point.
Yeah, for sure. I think the big thing about this map is that if you're picking it first, you're ready for it. Pretty much is. If you're the first pick on this, you're going to be ready to play this with Hard Rock, especially. That's the key players that I'm going to be looking for on the side of Japan. Is who's playing the Hard Rock. I assume it's going to be Mokus, but this pick is going to be how well are you prepared for this. It's actually going to be Snowwind picking up hidden Hard Rock, so it's surprising here seeing Mokus being the one going for the Nomad on the side of Japan.
Yeah, a little bit. It is sort of 50-50. I know Hiroshiki can sort of do that hidden, and I played with Snowwind in AXS, so I know he's pretty decent in terms of like your faster sort of map types. Yeah, and I was gonna say the difference between free mod and mixed mod. I think we remember what happened back when free mod was a thing. The Hard Rock AXS abuse.
We're actually going to be seeing two very early misses on the side of Russia, both from Janita and Kitsune Ivy. All of Japan still holds pretty strong, especially in this intro, considering there's a few tricky jumps. It's going to be another miss. Actually, two misses on the side of Russia. Japan is already coming out. That's a 150,000 point lead already. It's just going to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, maybe a bit nervous on the first point. I know a few players do get quite nervous when it comes to sort of bigger tournament matches as well, but it could just be opening butterflies. It looks like Snowwind's the only one who's sort of holding on. Snowwind is doing quite well right now and definitely keeping Japan in it. The score bar slowly sort of extending now, but Team Nita gonna find a miss. Kitsune Ivy trying to fight back with that combo a bit, but they don't really have much. No one gonna miss, but massive score gap, right? Might just take the break point to start with here. It's looking very promising for them.
Yeah, we are seeing a few more misses towards the end from the side of Japan, but it's just nothing comparable to what's happening on the side of Russia. Russia having quite a few more misses overall. Mostly a Hard Rock diff on this map is what it frankly came down to. But Snowwind just completely outperforming Profara on the Hard Rock.
Yeah, and the miscounts aren't even that much different. It's just that Snowwind was able to just get a massive combo gap over Profara in that one, and yeah, I was gonna say, it's not surprising seeing some of the scorelines only being about 600,000-700,000. Like, once you sort of find yourself out of it a bit, it's so hard to sort of get back into that rhythm. Especially, it sort of feels a bit go and then stop with a lot of the patterns too. So I think that probably caught a few people off guard as well.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm just really surprised, considering that was Russia's first pick, is if you're picking this, you realistically should be ready, and going into it, you should know that that team score is probably not enough to be confident on. They only had 2.3 million, and that's pretty low, even for one of the harder maps in the pool. So I'm a little bit confused as to why that was the first pick, personally, but maybe they had something in mind. I'm not sure.
Who knows? knows? Maybe they already know what Japan can play and they're just getting them out of the way early. Do the backwards roll.
Oh, finally we got 1 point. Let's go.
Yeah, it took such a long time, didn't it? And they're going for hidden 3. Not surprising at all, I would say. I would probably say they're maybe the more favoured team on hidden just because of that second and third player. Because we know, you know, it's probably going to be pretty close with Kitsune Ivy and Molkus. It probably will come down to that second, third player.
Yeah, for sure. I think this one is probably the easier hidden pick, in my opinion, of the map pool. Is if you can play Nomad, you can play this one pretty fine. It's not that much different with hidden overall. Hidden one has a bit more trickier patterns throughout. This one is pretty much a Nomad test with hidden added on, you know. You don't really notice the hidden, is what I've experienced with this map. So
yeah, I mean, not a hidden player, so I'm just terrible whenever hidden gets added to the equation, but this one is definitely much easier than the other two by quite a margin, by a couple 100,000 points.
Are going to be getting to this one momentarily. I think we're going to be having the insane cluster outside of Japan, actually. And then maybe a little bit of a switch up with Vipara. We have Kasogam coming in instead of Vipara on the side of Russia.
Yeah, so that one, not surprising, as we all know, Vafar are quite adept in terms of speed play, whereas I think Kosogam was more of that hidden cover throughout the tournament so far. And I'm trying to remember back during like one of the 4-digit tournaments a couple years back, I was trying to remember if Kosogam played a fair bit of hidden there, because I had refed 1 or 2 of those prior matches in the 4-digit tournament.
Oh, I wouldn't know. That's way too back for me personally, but going into the present, which is where we are right now. Man, those pancakes look nice. I don't know, man.
Oh yeah.
That makes me hungry. I want my breakfast, but
every time I see this, it's just breakfast time.
Yeah, pretty much. There's some fruits on there too. Catch the beat.
Oh yeah, and the cream too.
You're actually going to be seeing real ear miss from Hiroshiki. 40 combo in, and another one followed up by Snowwind. So that's already a pretty big advantage inside of Russia.
Yeah, we're sort of seeing a little bit of opening breakpoints go both ways right now. Kosogam going to find an early miss, but with the amount Snowwind sort of missing right now, maybe just not used to that AR scaling back down. Maybe over-practiced a little bit of speed there. Yeah, Teen Yida and Kitsune Ivy doing quite well in this opening. 2 FCs in the lobby, and when you're FCing this map, we saw previously in the Germany-France game how quickly the score can just go into your favor.
Yeah, and that's another double miss on the side of Japan. That's going to bring it all the way to about 150,000 points. It's going to scale up to about 200,000 in the second now. Teen Yida, right before the spin, sadly breaks. That's not going to change much in the great scheme of things.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, unable to sort of capitalize on that. Snowwind dropping down to below 96% right now. So maybe just really nervous, or maybe just off rhythm a little bit throughout. And I remember someone was saying something about, you know, sometimes when you just find yourself off rhythm on a hidden map, I think they were referring to low AR, but it's just so hard to get back in that rhythm. And we're seeing that a little bit right now. Only one in rhythm right now. Kitsune Ivy, Molkus, both battling with that combo right now. Kitsune Ivy maintaining that SS, very strong performance so far.
Yeah, the thing that surprises me is this isn't even a lower AR pick, it's 9.4. You know, coming from playing Hard Rock, it shouldn't be that much different, frankly. I know it is hidden, but it's still just, you know, a normal approach rate for this map, and everybody seems to be that they've gotten it under control a little bit. Everybody reaching the 400 combo mark, but it's just gonna be dominating victory for Russia on this one. Another breakpoint, which I'm really surprised about as well.
Yeah, Kitsune Ivy going to break it right at the end, but already done well more than enough. And I think what could have also done it could have just been the slider movement. Because yeah, it's not a large amount of approach rate to dip down unless you're like a very hard rock double time centric player. But it could just be that quirky slider movement. Maybe players just weren't ready for it, just overcompensate or under dash. And yeah, we are gonna open with 2 break points, and Russia has the next pick.
Yeah, 2 breakpoints with a score difference of about 200,000 each on both of the first 2 breakpoints. That's something that you definitely do not see every day. T-Nita actually having a 1 miss, almost a 1 million score. Very nice score from him. Kind of makes me start to wonder are these teams like picking each other's maps, you know, with how they're performing on each other's picks, you know?
Trying to get it out of the way early, maybe. Then just take that late game advantage. Very interesting strategy it would be. I don't think it's the case, but if it was, it's a very interesting strategy, I'd say.
Imagine a tournament where you had to pick your worst maps just to be able to play the next pick. It's like, yeah, I gotta pick my worst map, see how well everybody does on it. That'd be an interesting concept.
Oh yeah, I think there'd be a lot of odd gaps if that happened.
Going into the next pick for the side of Russia though, Mixmod didn't really work out. Hidden surprisingly worked out pretty well, so maybe they go with the hidden one if they have... Nope, going for the Russian map. Russian mapper.
Nelly buff.
Hard Rock 1. Yeah. Yumi Takari being former captain of Team Russia prior years, now deciding to join the mapper team. Here we go. Now we have Russian map, or Russian mapper map set in Cup. It's gonna be Russia's pick. Pick number 2. This one is a bit more of a consistency test. I think Japan, given their hard rock performance from Hiroshiki on the Mixmod 2, should feel pretty confident on this one. I'm gonna be mostly worried about Mafara, considering that he didn't have that great of a score.
Yeah, I know he does tend to be pretty nervous, but I feel like a map like this one is much more something he'd prefer to play as opposed to the Mixmod 2. Like, I think he'll probably do a lot better on this one. I think all round, I maybe lightly favour Russia, but looking at how Japan played that hard rock pick and knowing that Molkus is also a good generalist player, I think it actually could go either way right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, this one's definitely a lot more comfortable than the previous maps, I'd say. This one should be feeling confident if you can beat AR-10. It is a bit smaller approach rate, or a bit smaller circle size than we're used to when it comes to these kind of maps. It is 4.2, along with Hard Rock, it's going to be about 5.7, 5.5, so a little bit smaller, a little bit tricky patterns throughout, which you're not going to be seeing Hiroshiki on Japan. It's surprising.
Yeah, Rindo coming in to make their debut in this match.
Nolan in the chat says, need more Sabaton. True, we definitely do. Good song choice indeed.
Oh yeah, definitely. Best map of the pool.
Nobody taking hidden along with the hard rock. We're going to see very early miss from Rindo. 5 combo win. Hopefully shouldn't matter unless we see like a lead by 400 points, something like that. But it's going to be quickly missed with Power and Snowwind on these streams.
Yeah, maybe just taking a second to find his rhythm at the start there. And Kitten Ivy also going to drop early. T-Nita and Molkus, the only remaining FCs already. We're only 300 combo in. I think I did see a little bit of these ones, like these earlier matches, play this map, and a few players in some of those earlier matches did sort of fall off a bit on these maps, so we'll see how players go this time. Balfour and Snowwind trading, but other than that, everyone mostly stable, and slight advantage to Japan right now.
Yeah, those two FCs really putting in a bit of work in in these early stages of the map. This map is a longer pick, 3.5 minutes, so anything can change at any time, especially with the shapes of these streams being a little funky.
And yeah, that advantage gonna go quick as Snowwind finds a miss, and everyone in Russia getting up past that 450 combo. So gonna take quite the advantage right now. Yeah, just excellent song choice. Oh, Vatha are going to drop there. Team Yeeta losing the FC is going to be massive. That just leaves Molkas. Snowwind going to drop as well, but that advantage might go Japan's way. But it's looking like it's going back into Russia's favor, especially with those ones.
Yeah, that was such a sad miss from Rindo right there. It was right on the slider droplet, I believe it was, that he missed. A bit unfortunate, but considering his previous performance so far in this map, it was only his second miss. But Molkas missing in the snow part along with Vatha, that's not good news for the side of Japan. But hey, you know what is? Kitsunaibe missing. So, good bout, even up as everybody reaches the 200 combo marks here.
Yeah,
Really
2 combos to 1. Everyone getting combo back a little bit now.
Yeah, Molkas not keeping that combo. He's going to drop on the stream section, and it's going to be about a 1 miss gap for Russia going into the last 1/4 of the map.
Yeah, losing that advantage, that slight advantage that they had. Only thing that might change it up is if any players catch a glimpse of the scoreboard once we hit that break.
Seems we do have a little bit of lag. There we go, right back into the map. Yeah, about 20,000 point difference right here.
Oh.
Don't DC on me,
alright,
Mr.
alright.
Please don't.
Vatha is still in it. He's not out yet. It'd be way too late now to... Oh, Rindo
does drop, so that's gonna go straight back into Russia's advantage. Even with Vatha, he's a little bit behind, so you see that score advantage for Japan. It's not completely in Japan's favor, but that miss from Kitsunaibe is gonna probably even it out, given Vatha is a little bit behind everybody else right now. Rindo gets another miss for the side of Japan. It's still neck and neck here. Molkas dropping. That's gonna probably bring it over to the side of Russia again. Right in the very ending of this map. We're honestly just waiting to see if Vatha is going to be able to keep this ending. He does, and it looks like this is going to be the second point for Team Russia going into that ending.
Yeah, and looking at that, it's actually quite a solid lead that Russia was able to take just through stabilizing towards the end. And yeah, taking it by about nearly 80k points, so yeah, quite
those misses at the end from Japan were really just unfortunate timing, because they were in the map for pretty much the whole thing.
Yeah, quite unfortunate, but it was Russia's pick, so now Japan does have that chance to fight back with a picker of their own. Maybe we'll see them go back to Hidden. I don't know how likely it is. Maybe they'll go for that lower AR where they might potentially feel more comfortable, but looking at how they went with the Hidden 3, I don't know about that. And No Mod 4 is what we'll see.
And No Mod 4 being the convert of the pool.
It's pretty much just consistency test for 4 minutes on some smaller jumps, some larger jumps here and there, but overall these players, I think they should be pretty fine on it overall. I don't think we'll see many scores below probably about 900,000, I'd say, for this map. It's going to be pretty high averages overall, considering most of it is relatively easy. It's just some hard jumps, really hard. And if you can hit those, then you have a nice advantage going into this one.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I feel like this one was actually easier than last week's No Mod 4 by a fair bit. Like, this one was much easier to play.
Yeah, I would agree with that personally as well.
So, not sure who we'll see for Russia come back in. Castle Game going to come back in, so maybe Castle Game just feeling a bit more confident on this one. Maybe.
Yeah, we're gonna see Ice K also coming in for the side of Japan over Rindo for the convert.
getting one swap up per team into this map.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Isuke going to make his first performance of the match. So seems like Japan does have a little bit more roster variability in this case, as we haven't seen Liquid Boba or
Rainbow?
yeah, I was gonna say I knew it was Rainbow. Just
It's like, which Rainbow is it?
I haven't seen them yet. Yeah, I haven't seen them in yet, so kind of caught me a bit.
Yeah, Russia kind of working with a 4-man core, it seems, this year.
Perhaps the totem players.
And he's getting into this one. This is pretty much just a huge 4-minute consistency test. How long can you keep your nerves? How long can you keep up with this type of map? It's going to be a few jumps here and there that are really tricky. Make sure you don't, kind of fall asleep at the keyboard and miss some notes because you jump something or you jump something. That's pretty much the story of this map.
Yeah, that is fair. I was gonna say, I think it's, maybe 9-10 p.m. in Japan right now, so it is a little bit late for them. I'd say it would be sort of around afternoon for Russia right now.
Yeah, we are going to be seeing 3 very early misses. 2 from Russia, 3 from Russia actually. That's no more FCs for the side of Russia with Kitsune dropping in about 200 combo. That's going to be already a pretty sizable advantage for the side of Japan.
Yeah, extending a little bit as well. It is only early days in the map, but yeah, having 2 FCs to 0, 1 FC to 0 now, still going to benefit Japan a little bit, but Russia do have the combos, so that might flip back a little bit.
Should be about even, maybe half a miss difference over to the side of Japan after everything settles out.
So I've been told it is 11 p.m. here in Japan. So yeah, that is just a little bit of daylight savings confusion coming from the Australian.
Yeah, I
As time
just see
zones love to
Japan.
change.
I see Japan and Australia as an American, I'm like, yeah, just add 12 to that. It's something around there, pretty much.
Yeah.
Someone is going to be dropping, though. That's going to swing it right back over to Russia if everybody can keep their combos.
Oh, Kitsune are going to drop immediately. Team Yida and Isuke are also going to drop.
Kitsune finding another miss in this section. It's going to make it even a bigger lead for the side of Japan.
Yeah, Kosogen doing what he can to hold on. I mean, it's still only about 30-40k right now, but you know, hopefully no one looks at the leaderboard. But with such a long break, I don't know if that would be the case. I know I'd get curious.
I mean, it kind of just shows up there, and when you're playing, you're just like, oh, there's the leaderboard, It's like, oh, we're down, uh-oh,
Don't let it get to me. Keep it out of my brain. Oh, I missed.
Yeah, I know some people, I used to be one myself, where I used to play with leaderboard on, just so I could see how everyone's doing, and it would kind of pump me up a little bit. I've since changed since the past. It does seem like Kosogen might be having a little bit of connection issues. Hopefully it's nothing too major.
Yeah, I think I remember my first CWC. I think that was back when it auto-locked, and I didn't even realize that you could turn multiplayer leaderboards off.
Yeah, and they have that ground in the middle of your screen too.
Yeah, it's so distracting. You miss like 3-star maps.
Yeah. Yeah, we have Kosogen being a little bit behind everybody else, so that lead for Japan isn't quite as big as it would seem on the stream right now, but it is still definitely a lead. Probably about 40,000-50,000 points right now for the side of Japan. That's going to cut it down a bit, but straight in right back. Kosogen.
Yeah, Japan just seems to have that odd combo or 2 more. Kosogen gonna miss again. A couple of smaller combos out of Kitsune Ivy and Team Yida. And Team Yida gonna miss quite hard there. So it's just Kitsune Ivy against Snowwind and no longer Molkus. But yeah, very solid advantage to the side of Japan. Even with those misses, it's just not enough.
It's gonna get closer. It's gonna get closer.
Oh.
Remember, Castle Game is a bit behind, but that
Could
miss,
be wrong, yeah.
yeah, that miss is gonna definitely widen the gap. But it is traded by Snowwind. We can see maybe 1 or 2 more misses on the side of Japan in these ending seconds. Maybe could swap over. Be really close.
It does look like it is extending a little bit. It's coming back a little bit, but I don't know if that's actually going to be enough. That last slider, no, it's not.
About a 20,000 point difference for Japan winning their second pick. It's gonna go right back to Russia for their third pick.
And that slot seeming to be the delay seat, as we had the same thing happen with Vafara, who was 2 points apiece. And if you are gonna be facing these teams tomorrow, I could imagine you'd be quite curious to see how these next couple points go.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody in the lobby does get over that 900,000 point mark that I mentioned before. Seems like that one is a bit of an easier pick. It's just mostly can you hit the hard jumps. So very well played to Japan for taking that one out with the consistency. And going into the next pick from Russia, you have to wonder what they're going to be going in with. Nobody's really touched the DT pool yet, so that could be an option inside of Russia.
Yeah, that is quite fair. I think if I was Russia, I'd probably stay away from DT1 a little bit, as it is my coin flip map, I think. No more 1, so I haven't seen this played yet. Yeah, a bit of a slower consistency pick. Quite a few reverse streams that might catch the odd player off guard a little bit. You know, quite easy to walk off them when they're kind of slow. But we'll see how they go. I know Russia has a pretty solid no mod lineup, so fair pick.
Yeah, this one definitely more wiggle focused than Nomad ones are typically going to be. The wiggles are only about 160 BPM, but they do extend quite a while, so stamina might get a little bit into question on some of these wiggles. Hopefully all these players are able to play these wiggles pretty well. I think they should be mostly, but maybe that third person for either team might not feel the most confident on this. We'll see.
Yeah, and quick match update for the B stream, Finland, Vietnam. Finland is 3-1 over Vietnam right now. And Vietnam has the pick. And we will very shortly be getting into our No Mod 1 here. Good lucks in the chat. Here we go. So yeah, I think we could probably see how this match might, you know, start looking, just even within the first couple hundred combo.
Yeah, we do see quite a few roster swaps on side of Japan. We do see Rindo and Yukinya coming in. Yukinya, I believe this is their first map so far this round. That means Japan's played all of their 6 players, I think.
Yeah, making full use of that roster. Team Yida gonna find an early miss, but it's not gonna be too consequential yet. Hitting that little stream part. And it's pretty slow for the most part. There's not too much that happens until probably Probably the first chorus, honestly. I mean, you have your odd sort of tricky pattern, your odd kick slider, your odd sort of semi-wiggly stream.
Yeah, Eugenio actually drops quite a few notes there at about the 400 combo mark, so that miss is going to be a bit more punishing than Tinida's. You see Eugenio score about 10,000 less than Tinida's, even though they only missed one section each.
Yeah, also dropping down to 98.3%
Yeah.
as well, so heavy act drop too. Oh, hard drop there as well, just not quite hitting that hyper into that other little stream section.
And that trade is going to be followed up quickly by Molkus right there with another miss. It's going to be a pretty sizable lead for the side of Russia going into about the halfway mark on this map. 70,000 points nearly. It's just going to get a little bit larger. It's going to be getting a lot larger with Windows miss right there. Russia is pretty strong on this pick. Still two FCs on the side of Russia from both Kafara and Kizunami. Only a singular miss from Tinida. And they're just looking unstoppable on this Nomad one as Rindo does yet another miss with Molkus.
Yeah, they are very strong, and yeah, 2 FCs to 0, that scoreline's going to dramatically increase, especially with more misses out of Yukinya and Rindo. Yeah, this is becoming very quickly unreachable for Japan as 200k score difference, and they're in almost a break section. Luckily, no leaderboard site right now, so you know, delay that little bit of fear.
Yeah, even in this situation, honestly, if you see the leaderboard, maybe you'd play a little bit better because you're just like, oh, probably lost anyways. So
yeah, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. Guess we
Yes.
just finished the map.
honestly, just a really good score as the whole team from Russia is destroying this map, quite frankly.
Ooh, Bafara and T-Nita gonna drop, but Kitsun Ivy still maintaining that FC, and when you've already done so much work, it doesn't matter.
And Kitsun, the team captain of Russia this year, seems to be getting the only FC on this map, pulling strong for his team. But his team honestly didn't need him to pull that strong, because that's a big lead of 250,000 points at the end of the map. So well played,
Yeah,
Team Russia. It's probably going to be one of the higher team scores for this map throughout the whole week even.
Yeah, it'll definitely put them up there, I think. And you're gonna take their third point against Japan. Been very back and forth so far. A lot of, aside from maybe No Mod 4, a lot of these picks have just been very one-sided.
Yeah, especially considering the first two picks scored breakpoints and they were still pretty one-sided. So this map is pretty close so far. I really do wonder who's going to be the first team to pick up that DT pool. I really want to see just how well these players can do with the DT pool. I think the DT pool is probably the hardest pool overall in this round, except for that DT1 pick.
Yeah, DT1, very coin flip, just ballad reigns. That's just, you know, that's just slider tail issue, whereas with your double time 2 AR8, but Techie Gemzu AR8, so, you know, one that you've got to focus quite a bit on, and obviously, you know, your AR9 pick much faster for DT3. You're going to see DT3 out of Japan.
Yeah, this one I think is going to be a spicy one. See if Russia can be able to keep up with the AR9 double time. I believe Volkus is one of the better AR9 DT players on the side of Japan. I think he has a few other DT players who could step up for this one. That's why they're probably picking it.
Yeah, Snowwind, another DT player that comes to mind. He's pretty decent at it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see just who loses their nerves a bit. And there are plenty of streams in this map where if you don't have that full element of control and you're a bit nervous, it's very easy to just miss a whole stack of moves. In particular, those large streams in the middle kind of have a bit of a funky shape.
Yeah, they're a little bit tough to be able to play consistently. So if you're able to play them well at a high level, you should be pretty confident with your score on this map, I'd say. There are some farther jumps as well going along with those streams that very easily just not read because it's air 9 double time, air 9 double time. Pretty fast.
Yeah, beginning of those trickier reads, but AR9 Rain's pretty good place to start with your AR9 plus DT journey. As that sort of teaches you, I suppose, the basics of advanced double time, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Kind of like the, alright, now you're really learning double time.
I'm almost happy at how close the match has been so far, and yeah, it has been quite a good match so far, quite enjoyable to commentate.
Yeah, even though some of the points have been pretty far gapped, it's still been relatively close. Like, we don't know who's gonna be able to win this match. It could go either way, quite frankly. We saw with the first 2 breakpoints of the match, so it's still keeping us on our toes.
Yeah, it's not like a 3 and 30 match where the one-sidedness is all one-sided, it's back and forth one-sidedness.
Yeah, we're actually going to be seeing very early misses from Snowwind about 10 combo. That's going to be 3 misses on the side of Russia. That's really not what you want to see right at the start. No more FCs from the side of Russia.
Yeah, early full team miss is always a little bit rough, because it does just put you that little bit of score behind. Even though it doesn't have too much bearing, it's not necessarily the best thing for momentum to sort of put you through the rest of that map, especially if you're quite a nervous player and you miss that early on. You're like, oh, I gotta stop missing now.
Yeah,
And we're gonna find more misses out of Farah.
Yeah, we traded with Molkas though, so it's not as bad for the side of Russia.
Yeah, they're definitely still in it. Everyone's sort of maintaining controls over the streams so far.
Yeah, Rindo and Snowwind still holding on very strong. Almost 2 FCs, Snowwind missing right at the very start, so it's not quite an FC. 2 more misses on the side of Russia, though. That's going to make the gap pretty huge.
Yeah, Snowwind and Rindo just going ham right now, maintaining the control over the funky streams, but they're both gonna miss.
Hey, that's 3 misses on the side of Japan. That score lead is going to get really small here with Farah and Kitsune both having that 200 combo. Kitsune does drop that 200 combo right into this fast part, but it is traded with Snowwind. It's going to be pretty close coming into the end, I think.
Yeah, Buffer are keeping them in it, but they just had that much stronger early combo advantage, and it seems to pay off now when they're starting to find a bit of inconsistency. Like, it's crawling back, but yeah, there is a bit of trading between Molkas and Kitsune. Team Yeeta gonna miss, Molkas gonna miss, but because of that earlier lead and now the regain of stability from Rindo and Snowwind, they're just gonna take it by quite a margin now.
Yeah, Vakar doing his absolute best. Snowwind does miss at the end. Hold on. Wait, Molkas missing at the end as well. He's getting closer, but Kitsune sadly misses as well 2 times at the end. And that's going to seal the deal for Japan. They had a bit of a chance at the very end if Kitsune could have held just on a little bit longer, but sadly it wasn't enough.
Yeah, there was that moment, and looks like even with the misses between Snowwind and Rindo, it was just chunk missing.
Yeah, Rindo with a very nice score, 981,000, going to be the MVP of the lobby for Farah. Not that far behind him with a 955, so well played to both of those 2. Sadly, wasn't enough for Russia to be able to get the break point, but we're going into a 3-3 match. It's anyone's game still.
Yeah, it looks like we have a start to our Norway-Denmark game as well. Currently not on stream though, as it did start a little bit later than both of these matches.
Yeah, that match right now is 2-0 for the side of Norway so far, winning their first 2 picks. This match, honestly, this match definitely has tiebreak potential, at least right now.
Almost definitely. Especially if the next 3 points go the same way as the first 3 points.
The thing that's really scary for me is considering how Nomad 1 went for the side of Russia. They did really well on Nomad 1. And you know what map most like Nomad 1 in this whole pool? The tiebreak.
Yeah.
So, seeing how well they did on Nomad 1 may be a bit scary for Japan going into the tiebreaker if they ever do get there. So you have to worry about that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'd say in terms of what it would be closest to, I'd say Tiebreaker would probably be closest to Nomad 2, but obviously being banned, we're not gonna see it. But yeah, I was gonna say, it kind of reminds me of like if you were to do like an introductory or like a tutorial map for something like Ambidextrous.
A little bit, yeah.
With
We're
some
gonna
of
be
the
getting
lean
into,
streams.
yeah, those streams are a little bit funky. But you know what map's not as funky? This one. DT1 being just pure consistency on double time. It's surprising that Russia's the one that picked this, considering that they did just lose the last double time 3 pick, but it is a little bit of a different skill set. A little bit lower approach rate, a lot easier overall on the hands.
Yeah, that sleepy coin flip.
Yeah, I think the slider velocity on this one is a bit higher than usual, so you can just so easily miss pretty much randomly. It feels like it's definitely not random though, because you're just getting skill issued, but it feels like you're just missing on the air. You're just going a little bit too slow, a little bit too fast.
Yeah, most definitely. In the chat, so we'll probably get started soon. We haven't seen the command yet, but I'm guessing everyone's ready, so and we're about to see it.
Seems like we got exact rosters from the last map. Makes sense going from one DT to another that we'd have the same exact 6 people playing the map.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, pretty much. But on the other hand, you have to wonder, yeah, Hits and Ivy finding the first 2 misses actually 2 very quick in succession right at the start of the map. Maybe not a good sign for things to come, but it's also just getting used to the map.
Yeah, that's true. I think the place to keep your eye on is probably about 400-500 combo in, where you sort of do, like, it's just sort of repetition for the most part. That's where you sort of just head empty and you might just walk off that slider. Or it would at least be much more palmo, especially considering, you know, the weighting of combo becoming much larger now, more than just the 200 combo. But yeah, good early lead for Japan, potential breakpoint incoming perhaps, but oh, Snowwind gonna find a miss, and that's very quickly gonna go back, but Tinida trades it.
Yeah, we still have about a 40,000 point lead for the side of Japan. About a miss and a half, all things considered.
Yeah, it's looks like it almost went a little bit further into their favor, but oh, Tinida gonna miss quite hard there. Yeah, trading with Molkas, but yeah, getting about halfway through, and I feel like we are seeing that a little bit out of Tinida and Molkas, just walking off the odd slider head, slider tail, and when you're missing like that, I think you start to get a bit nervous. You want to you want to try and make sure you're hitting things. Maybe you try and speed up or slow down your pace, and then that just messes you up even further.
Yeah, definitely has the potential to do that. I think one thing that you could look at as well is Bavara's AC is pretty low for still having FC. He has a 99%. But bigger thing to look at now is Rindo does get that drop going into the second chorus. Gonna even it out a little bit. I think Japan's still gonna have a bit of an advantage, all things considered. But it's pretty much neck and neck right now. Wait, Tanita didn't spin. Oh boy. I don't blame him for not spinning because, you know, you never know with spins.
Oh yeah, even if there's no spinner trap, you never know when you trap yourself.
I really hope that doesn't matter, all things considered. It's pretty much just a one miss gap. If one person misses on the side of Japan, that's gonna swing right back to Russia. It's gonna be really close.
Yeah, there's still quite a bit of time for that one miss to occur as well. It's not really, I'd say it's pretty consistent, yeah.
Yeah, it's one miss for the side of Russia right there. Created with Rindo, so it's not as bad. Kitsune gets another miss, it's gonna be all Japan right now. And that's gonna close out the map. It's gonna be Japan taking the break point actually against Russia. The 4th point. Thankfully that spin from Tanita didn't matter in the end because they would have lost anyways considering that 60,000 point lead. But honestly, well played. One misses from both Snowwind and Mokus. FC from Bavara. Sadly, Tanita was a little bit behind everybody else.
Yes, yeah, that, bit unfortunate that the FC can be fully capitalized on, but yeah, Japan playing very well on that, and that's what I'm saying by coin flip, you know, just those few slider tails, slider heads missed by Tanita, just did the damage there.
Yeah, you gotta kind of wonder why Russia picked the DT1, considering they did just lose on the DT3 as well. So could kind of expect that Japan maybe a little bit advantage in the DT after winning one, but maybe they just didn't feel like the other picks on the table were that great for them either. That could also be a possibility.
Yeah, that is fair as well. I think it probably would have been smarter to go for something like Hard Rock 2 or Hard Rock 3 than DT1, I'd say. But now we might actually see Japan go for that last DT pick, as
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
that
they
would
did.
get them to match point.
They did just win the other two, so picking the DT2 in this situation is probably a good move, honestly. Especially considering Russia did just lose the last two, so they're probably like, oh, maybe our DT isn't as strong as we thought it would be. They are going to be picking Hard Rock 2. We were both pretty wrong on that one. Hard Rock 2 being the smaller circles map of the pool. CS6 for this map. Still about 3 minutes long. It's going to be sliders and more sliders on this map. That's pretty much all it is.
Yeah, sliders, memory, the classics, and we'll see how players go on this. This is like either a 1 miss map or a 10 miss map.
Yeah, it's pretty much how well versed are you at CS6. If you can play CS6 and you can read AR10, you should be pretty confident on this overall. But if you're lacking in one of those two areas, maybe you're not going to have that great of a time, you know?
Yeah, and beyond that, just don't mess up your reading line.
Yeah, pretty much. We are going to be seeing some swaps on the side of Japan. As we see 2 players on the bottom swapping out.
And match update right now. In the Norway-Denmark match, Norway is up 4 points to 0 currently. And it appears as though Finland has taken the win against Vietnam as well.
Yeah, Finland winning 6-2 over Vietnam. I think, all things considered, it's not that surprising of a scoreline, with Finland losing both of the Hard Rock picks and then not being that strong. Hard Rock. But we are getting right into this match right here with Japan Russia. Map number 8. See if Japan can bring it to the match point by winning their own Hard Rock pick. Tie it up.
Yeah, perhaps another breakpoint. I think there's only been like 1 point taken by each team either way, and then the rest have been breakpoints so far.
There's been quite a few breakpoints, yeah. I know the first 2 definitely were breakpoints, and I think after that we had teams pretty much winning their own points for a little bit, and that last pick, again, was a breakpoint.
Yeah, and what do you do if you're Russia in this situation? If Japan takes this point and puts you down 5-3, it'd be quite a serious spot to be in. But we know players sometimes tend to pop off when there are backs to the wall. And Team Yida, a few early misses, but it is early days. All FCs out of the side of Japan right now. No one maintaining accuracy. Vafara and Kitsunagi both going to miss, so...
Yeah, that's already so many misses on Russia right here. And the accuracies are not that good either. We see everybody almost under that S rank margin with a 97, 97, 98. So it's a bit painful for the side of Russia. We did see Snowwind miss right before this little pause that we had. So
how many SSs this weekend do you think that you'll see on this map?
0.
0. You've got no faith?
I have no faith. I do think we're going to see a few FCs, but SSs, they're just not worth it to go for the drop. It's for the most part. Rindo does drop, but it is quickly traded by Bafar, so all things considered, it's still going to be about a 100,000 point lead for the side of Japan, a little bit smaller than 100,000.
Yeah, and that is quite rough, as Team Yida was Russia's big combo right now, and both missing a fair bit. And Vafa are going to drop too, so Japan really going to run quite a bit with this point. And halfway through, you really don't want to be 100 and something thousand points down.
Everybody is seeming to struggle quite a bit on this map, honestly, overall. Snowwind does drop again. Mulkus, he's got the FC. There's 2 more misses on the side of Russia. So Japan, honestly, is just chilling for the most part, going into this last fourth of the map. They got a 150,000 point lead. Mulkus is just completely destroying this map. He has so much more score than literally everybody else in the lobby.
Yeah, and I think he's still FCing, isn't he?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him miss at all.
I think so. If he did miss, it was right in the intro, that's for sure.
Yeah, and an FC on that map, I mean, you can see just the gap between scores, between like everyone in the lobby compared to Mulkus, who's at 950k and everyone's barely past 850. Aside from Rindo, who is also above the 900k mark, but yep, there's that FC. Quite a bit of accuracy lost, but that's not surprising.
And honestly, huge MVP performance from Mulkus there. Pretty much carrying his team to that match point. It's going to be 5-3 Japan on this match. It's actually his first FC, he says in the chat on the map, so hey, if you need any time to FC, that's definitely the best time.
Oh, most definitely during the match. Rindo doing very well too, only the 2 miss where Russia kind of even across the board, all 8 misses apiece. Snowwind struggling a little bit, but that FC from Mulkus and that strong performance from Rindo really just helped pull Snowwind out of that a little bit.
Yeah, it is going to be Russia's final pick here going into this map. You have to start wondering, what's the best map for you, and what map do you think the other team is going to pick, even if you win this one? That's the 2 things that you really have to think about in this situation. You don't really want to pick the same map that Japan's probably going to pick, because, you know, they're going to pick it if you win anyways. So you have to figure out what's the map that you think you can win. Maps remaining. Honestly, it's really tough. I think Russia has a decent chance on Hidden 1, actually, considering their performance in
even
So he did
Nomod,
ban him too. I don't know.
yeah, even Nomod 3 might be a potential pick. I mean, it seems like something that Kitsune Ivy would be quite good at. It might just be that third player thing.
Yeah, I'm also just
Like I'd
scared
say-
for Nomad 3 because of Volcus, but they are going to be picking the Hidden 1 map. That's a pretty big shock considering the Hidden 2 was banned. Even though they did do well on 3, like I just said, it's still, you usually wouldn't expect this. But it is pretty late into the match. Not many maps are left anyway, so
Yeah, Room for Comfort is sort of just running out a little bit now, you know. I think there's still one Hard Rock, one Nomod, and then just this, so yeah, they've pretty much played almost everything already. Yeah, I don't think a lot of people were expecting Japan to pull off this sort of performance either. Looking at the pick'ems, 21.8%, 19 votes to about 68. So yeah, they're putting on performance of a lifetime right now. Like, there were quite a few gaps earlier on, but they're performing where it matters.
yeah, I mean, we saw last week that Russia performed quite a bit better than Japan overall as a team. I think they had about a 80,000 point difference, like Quinton said on prediction stream that we held yesterday. But again, those were also easier maps that Russia did play compared to Japan last week, so a bit of a gap there in terms of map difficulty. But this match, honestly, Japan's had a little bit of an advantage. This map could obviously Changelings could even it out a little bit more going into a 5-4 potentially, or it could just end it at a 6-3 for Japan if they end up taking this breakaway.
I guess we'll have to wait and see. 4 minutes separates us, or sorry, 3:57 separates us from which reality is going to occur. Everyone doing their good lucks in the chat, and we're about to start. We're about to see how this goes, and maybe Russia might have a bit of luck here. We'll have to see.
Yeah, this map, honestly, pretty brutal, all things considered. I don't expect to see that high of scores from pretty much everyone except for Kitsune Ivy, I think. Kitsune Ivy is probably going to be the MVP of this hobby, considering he is one of the better freedom players in the game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I have no opinion of this map.
Yeah,
This
of
is
a
indeed a
hard
map.
rock player.
It's indeed a map.
We're going to be seeing two very OA misses from both Hiroshiki and Kasugan. Small, very, very, very small advantage to Russia at the very start. But we're going to be seeing more misses, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, this is just one of those maps. It's just one of those maps where you will just lose a lot of notes.
Speaking of more misses, we already got like 3 more, 4 more. See Hiroshiki, Milkus, and Kasugan all missing. T-Nita as well missing. Snowwind missing. Look at that. There's only one I've seen is 250 combo.
Yeah,
It's
it's, yeah, 2 combos to 1, 1 combo to 0, and then yeah, now it's still 1 combo to 0, 1 combo to 1, 2 combos to 1. It might
Yeah.
just be that sort of combo game, and yeah, it is quite in Russia's favor right now. So
yeah, this
they're
map
not
is like,
down and out.
if we tried to say out every single miss, we're gonna just never stop talking, honestly, with this map. And it's not even due to the player skill, it's just this map is so brutal. I want to make sure to emphasize that as much. Like, these players play pretty well, and this map is just really painful, especially for the round. It's gonna
Yeah, one
be
player.
pretty much Kitsune just solo carrying.
Yeah, Kitsune Ivy still with the SS a third of the way in. And yeah, you can see it in the scores, 400k right now. And yeah, no one else is even close right now. We've got a couple of 380s, 390s, and Kitsune Ivy's about 470s. He's
Yeah, I
just
mean-
so far ahead.
If there was any map in this whole pool you could tell me, yeah, there's gonna be a solo carry on, it would have been this one, just because of how it's gonna use at this specific stop. Yeah, only person who seems to be actually having a decent time with them is Tibia and Volcus. But even then, Volcus a little bit ahead of Tibia, but it's just not enough to be able to carry.
just goes from 2 combos to 1, from 1 combo to 2, and 1 to 1 again. So yeah, it's just trying to fight, but that FC is still going to give that tiniest bit more score than that 500 combo. Yeah, it's just so far out of reach for Japan at this point. Like, it's not impossible. We have seen that sort of deficit get made up before, but like, just looking at this right now, the gap is so large right now.
Yeah, usually if we do see deficits like this get bridged, it's usually when both teams are doing pretty well overall on the map, and then one team just gets a triple mixed up. Or this situation, the only people who are doing well are Mokus and Kitsune. Well, Focus as well, finding a few more drops. It's just not going to be enough to be able to swing it. Kitsune still SSing, by the way, captain of Russia, pulling his team through.
Yeah, I think even a tech issue wouldn't stop them at this point. Not unless someone's RAM just collapsed, but I think at this point it's just, yeah, he misses, very unfortunate. Right at the end too, no. Legendary play though.
Yeah, he just completely destroyed this map. Look at this score. That's literally 100,000 more than the second person, Focus. Honestly,
yeah, that might be a very hard score to beat. Only just gonna miss the 1 mil, 999, 316, I believe it was. Oh, 319. No Austin 316 to be found here.
Super well played there from Kitsune Ivy, captain of Team Russia, taking his team to that 4th point. And we're gonna have to see, what does Japan think they can close out this match with? Because if it does go to TB, I'd be pretty scared if I was Japan. Russia would be having both momentum, they probably have the advantage on the tiebreaker just given their no-mod skill. And it's gonna be really tough. You have to really make sure this last pick from Japan is the pick for sure.
Yeah, they're gonna go for that timeout, yeah.
Definitely makes sense to go for the timeout here. You have to make sure this pick is just on point. There's only a few maps left. We have No-Mod 3, map by XCON. That map being the technical option of the maps remaining. Gonna be pretty tough. I don't think they're gonna pick that one, considering Kitsune would probably do very well on that. Maybe some other players from Russia wouldn't be able to keep up, but it's just kind of a good luck type of map. I think if you pick that, you're just saying, alright, let's see what happens. Pray for the best, pretty much. Hard Rock 3, I don't think they're gonna pick that one either, considering the other 2 Hard Rocks were not that good for Japan, I believe. So, all considered, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was 50-50 both ways. I mean, yeah, I'd say Hard Rock 3 is a little bit closer to Hard Rock 1, and Russia did have that Hard Rock 1 advantage, so it's probably not the smartest pick. I think the only ones that they're uncontested on right now are DT and Mixmod. Mixmod might be a little bit 50-50 because both teams sort of have that full-way variability. However, I think they're probably going to go DT2. It seems like the smarter option of the 4 maps. Because even with Mixmod 1, like, that's a very, like, I'm not sure if I'd want to necessarily pick that against Russia,
I think
but
Mixmod
at
1
the
is
same time,
just more of a triple FC map than DT2 is as well. I think Mixmod 1 have the potential to just put out really consistent scores overall, and that's kind of what Russia is good at. But DT2, I think, is a bit harder overall, a lot more mechanical, and Japan showed with DT3 especially that they have a bit of an edge on the DT. So I'd personally go with DT2 as well. Mixmod 1, definitely an option, but it's a bit more Mixmod 1, I'd say.
yeah, it's more just about, with Mixmod 1, I suppose, if you're Hard Rock, just throwing your catches into those Ascendants, pixel streams.
Have an update on the Norway versus Denmark match. Norway does take that one 6-1. Well played to the Norwegians. Beating out
be getting Hard Rock 3. I'm surprised, personally.
Yeah, it's an interesting pick, but I mean, they did take 1 point, Russia took 1 point, maybe they're just more confident on this one. I know this one has a few punishing sections, in particular the left-right streams at about 700 are very easy to just go too wide with.
Yeah, this one has quite a few Hard Rock patterns where it's a bit tight to be able to get the timing down, but if you play Hard Rock, you should be completely fine on this overall. It's like pretty much Hard Rock players' nightmare, but also Hard Rock players' dream, because if you play Hard Rock, you're going to be good on it. But if you also play Hard Rock, you know these patterns and you don't know for the most part. So I think it's could go either way. We'll have to see if Mokus does come back in for that third player on Japan. Right now we see Yukinya and Rindo, as well as Nidida, who's to Nukara, side Russia.
Yeah, the patterns always get their meanest when you notice you've got combo too.
Oh. Actually, gonna be seeing Snowwind step in for Mokus on the side of Japan. I believe this is the first time that Mokus has actually not played a map this whole match.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is a little bit of an interesting lineup. I suppose trust the process, but it is a little bit odd that they wouldn't go for Mokus here. I mean, maybe he does need that break, you know, the generalist player, especially if worse comes to worse and they do have to play that tiebreaker. Like,
yeah, I mean, he did also do the best on the Hard Rock 2 pick as well. He FC'd it, so.
yeah, that is especially, you know, one of those factors that sort of makes you a little bit concerned, a little bit curious. Rindo gonna take the early lead.
Yeah, Rindo is just 1v3 right here. He's just going. I will say this does allow Mokus to practice the tiebreak a little bit more if he really needs to. He's definitely just playing the tiebreak, that's for sure.
Oh, no doubt, yeah.
We are letting everybody catch up to Rindo right here. Snowwind's going to be the first drop, traded by Rivara right before the 200 combo cards. It's going to be pretty even so far going into this. Very, very small advantage for, actually surprisingly very small advantage for Russia right there. Snowwind finds another drop before the 200 combo card. Larger and larger. That's going to be a really huge double drop from Russia. It's going to swing it right back to Japan.
Yeah, and this is looking quite good for Japan right now, as they do have those two big combos to Rivara dropping again. And yeah, maybe Japan knew exactly what they were doing with this pick, because they are just popping off right now.
Yeah, Rindo still has the SS, by the way. Yukinya dropped a few droplets, and he's going to drop a few more notes there as well. It's going to bring it back just slightly, but that's still going to be about a minute and a half worth of lead right there for Japan going into the last half of this map.
Yeah, I don't think many people were actually expecting this. Like I said, most of the votes going to Russia on the pick'ems, and Japan just decided, yeah, no, today's the day we just... Oh?
Rindo dropped. Rindo dropped again. That's going to even it out, actually.
Little nerves, maybe taking a bit of... Oh, Vafara dropping very heavily. Yeah, but combos, and Kitten Ivy's going to lose his... It's Snowwind and Team Yida in a dogfight right now for this point here, you know. The tiebreak for Russia, the win for Japan. It is a ruthless battle right now. Oh, Team Yida gonna miss, so is Vafara. And
yeah, this
is looking like Japan.
Yeah, it seems like it's gonna be sealing the deal for Japan, winning this last pick. Unless all things just completely crash at the very ending. That's a 100,000 point lead. We're at the end of the map. It does seem like Japan does take this match. They're going to be advancing on into the losers bracket. Russia, their story ends here.
Yeah, that was a very interesting match. I don't think a lot of people were expecting that. Mokus has got to be just ecstatic right now, along with the rest of the Japanese team.
Yeah, super well played to the side of Japan. All honestly amazing scores. Everybody on the side of Japan, by the way, beat Russia's best player on this map, Kusanagi, with a 938k. Everybody had above that on the side of Japan. So they did honestly very well on that map. Molkus, he says in the chat, my Boris carried me. That's gotta be the thing that you really love to see. Molkus has been just a long stay for the side of Japan. Captain of Team Japan, you let it all out for your teammates on the final map, the most important map, and they pull it through. That's just one of the best feelings that you can really have as a captain.
Oh yeah, just stand back for a minute and just witness them at work. Yeah, excellent game out of Japan, you know, facing off against the higher seeded opponent and taking the win 6-4. Very back and forth match, but yeah, when it mattered the most, Japan were able to just take those points. And yeah, Japan will now go on to face the winner of the match coming up in about 45 minutes, UK versus Australia. So the winner from that one will go on to face Japan tomorrow. Yeah, that'll be a very interesting match.
And as for us, we are actually going to be having another match on the B stream that is being hosted right now, by the way. Argentina versus Indonesia. We're going to be heading over to that one momentarily. We're going to be hosting that stream. This stream will be back up with that next match, like you said, 45 minutes from now. We're going to be moving to that stream. So thank you guys for watching. Go cheer on Argentina and Indonesia for their match.